I am Sally Hickson, and I am the director of the School of Fine Art and Music. Well, I did my undergraduate at Carleton University, and I did art history and Italian language and literature. And then I went to Queen's for my MA in art history, and then I worked for a couple of years at the Canadian Centre for Architecture in Montreal as a research assistant, and then I went back to Queen's. Queen's just started a PhD program when I was working in Montreal, and they actually called me and invited me to come into their PhD program, so I said, sure, I'll come and do my PhD. So, I've always been a good student ever since I was a kid. Yeah. But, you know, I was older, right? I was 27 when I went to university. So for me, it was more like a job. Every couple of years, I seem to write a paper on Michelangelo, mostly related to the work that I've done. I edited a book with Sharon Gregory called Ingano, The Art of Deception, about deception in art, but also related to like copies and fakes. And so it gets to the sort of heart of what's original and issues of authenticity. And I find Michelangelo really interesting in that context. I'm writing a book about Federico Gonzaga, Federico II Gonzaga, who was the Prince of Mantova, beginning of the 16th century. So a kind of patronage biography. So I tend to work on patronage to a large extent, and also this idea of deception in art. The best thing about Michelangelo is that he was really a self-promoter, and he sort of was a mastermind of marketing well before anybody ever thought of it, I think. What do I love about Guelph? It's a very community-minded university, which is important to me. It's beautiful to be paid to think about things you love to think about. Somebody once told me the difference between people is not how people think, but what they choose to think about. Well, I think the humanities at their best make us question ethics, morality, our motivations for doing things, the standards of the past, the ways of kind of projecting ourselves into the future. It's all about articulation. It's all about expression. And those are really valuable skills to me. My advice to students would be that life is long and youth is short, and you should enjoy being young, and that I don't think you have to come to, I see a lot of students who stress a lot about their future. And one thing that I think universities should be able to offer is an opportunity to make decisions about your future based on learning about who you are. So you don't, some students come in and know exactly what they want. That's great. But we still welcome you if you don't know what you want, because that's part of the process, So I just wish they would be a little easier on themselves. I mean, I think what's really encouraging is that if you look at statistics beyond just the moment of graduation, people who have BAs in the humanities have a very high level of employment. They're actually doing very well in terms of salary. They have a lot of security in what they're doing. So yeah, that's right. So I mean, there is life beyond university. And I think a lot of times you can't even imagine what you would be able to do with your degree until you get the opportunity to do it. Yeah, sure. Dynamic, creative. It's a wonderful sort of community within itself. I'd love to see it be more recognized beyond itself. I mean, certain programs are. The MFA is, nationally recognized. Yeah. We've had a few recent graduates win national awards for their work. Yeah. We have wonderful choirs that, have won international awards. It's a hive of activity. It really is. There's nothing that I love more, actually, than walking in the morning and seeing, bizarre wooden sculptures in the hallways and, students sitting around on benches and discussing what they've been discussing in class and stuff.